You've got a choice to make. There are certain parts of Scripture that are used so often that they border on becoming cliches. Now, you know what I'm talking about. During graduation season, what do you see all the time? Jeremiah 29:11. At weddings, you often hear what's dubbed the love chapter, 1 Corinthians chapter 13. Today, I want to talk about another scripture that I think is so common that I fear it's lost some of its meaning. Before we keep going, I want you to let me know in the comments below what's a verse or passage that you think is so often used that it borders on being a cliche. And in case you want to know the definition of cliche before you put something in the comments, I'm going to put it right here. Here it is. Something overused to the point that its use is predictable. Again, let me know what you think in the comments below. Before we get to the two verses that I want us to talk about today, let me set it up just a little bit. The people of Israel are coming to a much anticipated moment in their history. For more than a generation, they have longed for this particular day. Things will be fundamentally changing for them. No longer will they be a people without a home, as today they are realizing the promise that God made to their forefather Abraham. Their days will no longer be filled with surviving, but now that they have stability, they can focus on thriving as a people. In this very last chapter of what we call the book of Joshua, we see Joshua's last act as national leader of Israel before he resigns and turns over the rule of Israel to the leaders of the 12 local tribes. He gathers the people and their leadership together in a very significant location, Shechem. Shechem was the place where God first made his covenant to Abraham in Genesis 12. Now all the people are back in this exact spot, reminding them that they are the fulfillment of what God promised to Abraham. Now in this moment, Joshua recaps all that God has done for them since Genesis 12 to that very day. Then Joshua brings them to a defining moment, a choice that they have to make. He says, in light of all that God has done for you, fear the Lord and serve him wholeheartedly. Put away forever the idols your ancestors worshipped when they lived beyond the Euphrates River and in Egypt. Serve the Lord alone. But if you refuse to serve the Lord, then choose today who you will serve. Would you prefer the gods your ancestors served beyond the Euphrates? Or will it be the gods of the Amorites in whose land you now live? Here's the choice that Joshua's offering. Are you going to serve God? He's offering, to use our culture's language, a binary choice. It's not a dial to turn. It's not a fader to slide. It's a switch. On or off, yes or no. Are you going to serve God? Then Joshua gives his answer first. But as for me and my family, we will serve the Lord. Here's the thing. This just isn't a question that's asked of these people. It's a question that's asked to everyone. It's a question that I must answer and you must answer. So let me ask, are you going to serve God? I know that binary decisions aren't very popular in our culture.
We don't do that here.
But God doesn't care about what we think is popular. You can cancel God all you want, and that doesn't affect him in the slightest. God directly addresses whether or not this is a binary choice in Revelation 3. He said, I know all the things that you do, that you are neither hot nor cold. You're trying to make this choice into a fader. I wish that you were one or the other. It's a binary choice. Then he continues, but since you are like lukewarm water, neither hot nor cold, I will spit you out of my mouth. He's saying that you've got a choice to make. And before you make it, Jesus actually gives us this warning in Scripture. He says, if you want to be my disciple, you must, by comparison, hate everyone else, your father and your mother, your wife and your children, brothers and sisters, yes, even your own life. Otherwise, you cannot be my disciple. And if you do not carry your own cross and follow me, you cannot be my disciple. But don't begin until you count the cost. For who would begin construction of a building without first calculating the cost to see if there is enough money to finish it? Jesus is saying, are you all in? Or are you all out? Take time to really count that cost. Put the rewards and the cost on the balance and weigh them out. What will be the cost and the rewards of you truly following Christ, socially speaking? What about financially, eternally? Look, I'm not going to sugarcoat this. If you truly follow Christ, you will be hated. There's no doubt about that. If you align your morality with Jesus, you will be a pariah. No question. If you stand for what God stands for, you will be cut down. But remember, Jesus told us this already. He said, if the world hates you, remember that it hated me first. Never forget that we follow a man who was suppressed and beaten and eventually killed. But don't worry, he overcame the world. So count the cost, then make a decision. Let me ask you one more time. Are you going to serve God? The choice is yours, so choose wisely. Hey, if you think this is a message that more people need to hear, please consider sharing it. And be sure to subscribe so that you can catch the next one when it drops on Thursday. We'll see you next time. Grace and peace.